What does it mean to be fit? Does it mean to just be satisfied what the mirror says? Or does it mean to be capable and resilient? Does it mean to be very strong? When it comes to physical training, I guess fitness is the biggest one. It has more practitioners than any other discipline. And I guess slowly people realize that strength alone is maybe not enough, that you can have much more fun. If somebody showed you what other qualities are inherent in your body, that once you wake them up, the real fun begins. It's like a paradigm shift. It opened up a completely new door, kind of unifying all kinds of disciplines together into one. And it's really about taking a step back, forget what you know, and try to be you, and try to, with maybe a different perspective, bring other qualities out of you. Don't be so stuck on one thing. Embrace that you're a multi-tool. The problem came that we moved away from what it means to live a natural life. Everything is designed very comfortable. You sit in a chair, you eat your food at a table, you work at a table, you sit for entertainment, you sit when you travel. You don't move, the way we're supposed to be moving. We still have the same physiques, the same bodies, the same vehicles, like 100,000 years ago, which was designed with a purpose. And now we're not making proper use of it, so we start to deteriorate, we start to get sick, we start to get weak. We start to just live a mental existence, but still trapped in the body. And when the vehicle gets sick, the mind gets sick too. So now you have a cyclist who can, win the Tour de France, but can't climb a tree, or can't stand up straight because his practice made him perfect for what he's doing. And this is what we're trying to avoid. So I guess at Momentum, we're trying to free the people. Break open their armor that they put on over the years. A lot of us have conditioning, all kinds. We take a step back. We're looking at what kind of movement skills are really necessary to do 90% of the things, that are connected to being human. And depends where the person comes from. If they already have a practice, they're very strong, then we have to make them mobile. If they are very mobile and flexible, we have to make them strong. So we're all kind of trying to move in the center where we have like basic strength, basic mobility, basic coordination, resilience, and so on. But to do that, we then borrow from specialized disciplines. So gymnastics would be a big one because it just checks off so many boxes. Same with Brazilian jiu-jitsu, same with hand balancing, capoeira, contemporary dance, movement on the floor, all kinds of balancing, and so on. So if you mold those together, if you have a person who's proficient in all of these fields, they make a very good mover. And that's the idea. This is where Momentum starts, kind of de-armoring process. Where if you're too hard, you're gonna get softer. If you're too weak, you're gonna get stronger. So that you are as versatile as possible. Not meaning that we're like superhuman or anything, but we're actually very human. Because it's a very human thing to be a good generalist, being able to climb, to run, to swim, to fight, to dance, and so on. It's very important that you have a physical outlet for these things, that you explore them, because they are very much what it means to be a human being. I'm not saying as a man you should just fight because that's the right thing to do, but maybe channel this energy. Find a practice where you can let it out, but you can do it in a safe way, safe for you, safe for others, and get some rest from it, because it will constantly be pushing you. Like they say, people who are naturally aggressive, it's not because they're bad people, it's just they genetically have this drive, to be physical and to be, active. And one of the most important things is definitely interacting with other people, not just through conversation, but also physically. People have been dancing with each other for thousands of years. People have been fighting each other since the beginning of time. When you see how animals play or children play, it's always play-fight. This is like the most natural way of playing. And by suppressing that, you take away a lot of freedom, a lot of movement freedom, and people get depressed. So the practice basically has two sides. One I call foundation. This has to do with the vehicle, the body. It usually starts with being strong and being flexible, and resulting out of that will come mobility. And then it's up to you how far you want to take it. Not everybody needs a middle split. Not everybody needs a one-arm pull-up. We show you a path how to go from 0 to 100, and along the way you will find your middle, what is really necessary for you. The second is the skill. What art forms, what disciplines are intriguing for you? What are you interested in? We like to use two things here, which on one hand was Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which has this element of confrontation and competition, but also self-defense. And then on the other hand, contact improvisation, a collaboration. Two dancers together are creating something. Looking at it, it's the same vocabulary, but spoken in a different intention. And you will naturally find out where you gravitate towards. So there will be kind of a clear aim, which practices you need. And together with knowing about your foundation, you will exactly know how much you have to improve the vehicle to be suitable for these disciplines. Like if you want to go off-road, you better make a good bike, with big wheels and good springs. And if you like to glide on ice, it's a different approach. So you can't say movement will make everybody the same. It won't. It really depends what you enjoy, what you like. Same as music. Most of us were educated to, that exercise is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to beat up yourself so that you can later feel good about yourself. But it doesn't have to be that way. There's certainly a place for it. If you want to improve, you have to be uncomfortable. There's no way around. But you can also move for the sake of feeling good, So by learning those movement mechanics, you find effortlessness in whatever you do. And that's a very liberating feeling. So the first step for most people, there will be more mobile, there will be less pain, there will be less the clicking of joints, and in general just more well-being. The quality of life takes a big upgrade. It's almost like I have more resources. I can do more stuff. I don't get tired as quickly. And the second part, healing, which is more like internal healing, is, let's say you have a person that grew up as an only child and didn't have the chance to be physical with their siblings or kids of their age, never was wrestling or play fighting or dancing, whatever. For these people, there's a safe space to explore some of these qualities. If I always had this kind of aggression in me and I was always told that I can't express it, now you have a place you can. And then if you're a person that is anxious or nervous around other people, like social anxiety, you can try something like contact improvisation, where two bodies together create, a dance. We kind of have to take you back into how you were when you were born. All you can do is just lay on the ground, and it starts from there. The first thing that gains strength is the spine. And usually the first skill you would develop is how to roll onto your belly. Once you're on your belly, you learn how to lift your head, to look around, start to develop the pushing strength of your upper body. As you progress, you learn how to sit up, be even taller now. You can get a better overview. And then lastly, you learn how to stand and walk. And then from there, once you feel safe on your feet, you learn to climb things. And this is what we're trying to teach at Foundation. Very basic floor work in the beginning, how to roll on the floor, how to invert, how to create space between neck and shoulder so you can transition, and so on. You're really educating your spine on how it has to move. By the way, in grappling, this is what you have to do. You're fighting off your back. So you need to be very competent in what they call floor communication. After that, we're learning how to use our frames, arms and legs, to separate ourselves from the floor. Okay, and this is where all this locomotion, inversions, balancing on your feet, balancing on your hands, basic cartwheels, very soft acrobatics. Lastly, what you learn is how to be supported in traction, how to hang, how to pull yourself up, how to climb something. We know how to roll, we know how to stand, invert, flip, and we know how to climb. There's nothing else. This is where most sports take place. Unless it's something like flying or swimming, you can easily put any discipline into these three layers and know exactly which layer you need the most. If we again look at movement as a language, with those 3 levels, you have a very strong vocabulary. And when you want to speak, you know, you're going to be competent in communicating what you want, also being funny. You can make jokes, physical jokes. So for women, putting them into maybe a discipline like grappling, it shows them that they're actually much stronger than they thought they were. If you create a space where it's okay to do it, they love to fight. They love to fight each other and they love to fight men. And I believe that this can make a much better bond to the different sexes, you know, where, no, we can just be verbal with them, you know, but hey, maybe we can also play with each other physically, you know, because physical communication is very honest. You know, it's very hard to lie or hide. You're just gonna notice if someone is being honest or has bad intentions. For men, again, I generalize, right? I'm just taking the average guy who's never seen anything like it and sees a contact improv class. And this kind of proximity, he might be only used to with his intimate partners. So it can be quite shocking for him to get that close to someone, but it's just this dance, this game. You know, you have to be open. You cannot dance this dance if you're holding back or if you are trying to gain something. You know, people come, they kind of melt together and then they separate. It's almost like you need emotional maturity to understand this. So I think for emotional health, especially for guys who have been raised very traditionally, making an experience like this can be very helpful in their growing process. So maybe for men, they get to know, if they don't know already, the softer side of themselves, and maybe women would find more inner strength. It generally gives me a lot more freedom, you know, where you see something and it's like, oh, I could do that, you know, I could try that. And not have the excuse when you see maybe people playing capoeira to say, oh, I wish I could, but my knee or my back, or, you know, put me upside down and I just fall on my face. You know, so you kind of gain a little bit of your childhood back. You know, as a kid, what you see, you're gonna like jump straight in. And as an adult, you know, you become more and more fragile. I guess giving you this playful freedom back, that's a very nice thing to do. Any discipline that has play in it is a good one. You know? Anything that is unpredictable, wild, I really encourage anybody to find some kind of play that they really enjoy.